I messed up. I have a hard time trying to forgive myself for this, which I should have a hard time. I got a 15-month-old son that I want to be a role model for. But I got to man up to what I did. I'm going to sit for the next 2 years. This is who I am. I'm a fighter. And I'm about to fight my way through this one.
I have always been ultra competitive.
Day begins.
I don't care if it's playing board games at home with the family, if it's wrestling.
Oh, God, dude.
I was just on a wake surfing trip and I couldn't get a 360, so I tried it about 600 times. It's just something that pushes me that extra mile, and everyone's always noticed it.
Presenting the challenger,
TJ Dillashaw is dominating. This is amazing. What an incredible performance.
Thank you so much, everyone. I love all my fans. I love all you guys. This is why I do it.
This didn't just cement you as the official champion and defending your title. It also put you in a position to be considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world.
I am the best bantamweight of all time. Let's see it, the best bantamweight of all time, here, right now.
I highly believe that my competitiveness is why I'm as successful as I am. You know, that's why I do 3 a days and 2 a days and spend hours in the gym and have to be told that I need to go home because I've been there too long. I become obsessed. The reason why I'm obsessed is because how competitive I am. You know, I don't want to lose.
TJ and I have been together since before, the MMA journey started for him. And he's accomplished a ton. It is pretty amazing when you step back and look at the whole picture. It's been neat, it really has.
live from Staples Center, it is time for the main event for UFC 227, Dillashaw versus Garbrandt 2.
You know, the night I defended my belt for the second time against Cody, Demetrius Johnson and Henry Cejudo were also fighting that night. That's when, the talk started happening of me wanting to take his belt.
Bring it, baby. Let's do this.
If Dana White's watching this right now, what's your message to him in regards to Henry?
Hey, let's get this contract written up and put this guy away already.
He really thrives on achieving these huge goals for himself, and to him, that was the next one on the list.
He hasn't dealt with my movement. He hasn't dealt with me mixing it up. I'm gonna knock out Henry Cejudo. I'll take that belt. He's been begging me to take that belt off his shoulder. It's too much weight for him. You know, that gold medal's light. This UFC belt's got a lot more weight to it. I'm gonna take it right off his shoulder. Dropping down to 125s and becoming a double champ. There was a lot on the line. I wanted to be the best pound-for-pound fighter, and I wanted to defend both belts.
Come on, TJ.
I I'm running 6 days a week in the mornings, and I'm also riding the bike at night, as well as 2 or 3 practices a day. So the workload was insane. 5, 4. And that's why I got my body down to 4% body fat and looked the way that I did. The last time I weighed 125 pounds was my senior year in high school. So I knew it was gonna be hard, don't get me wrong. I knew there'd be days I'd be hungry. I knew there'd be days I'd be tired. And that was to be expected. But I didn't realize physically how tough it was actually gonna be on me and on my body. I'd say about halfway through, about 6 weeks out, is when I really realized I had a problem. That I realized that I didn't know if this was actually gonna be doable. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to train. I was supposed to fight for the biggest fight of my career. I wasn't looking forward to my obsession of being the best. My weight would continue to come down, but it wasn't my weight that was a problem. It was my body telling me to stop.
I think that within any of his training camps, there are periods where he seems completely physically, mentally, emotionally taxed and drained. It's fight camps are a roller coaster. And that was expected though. So no, there wasn't any sign to me that it was taking the toll that it was on him.
All right, guys, last but not least, he is the bantamweight champ, challenging for the flyweight title this weekend at Barclays. Give it up for TJ Dillashaw.
I kept telling everyone this is gonna be easy. You know, like, no problem, I got this. It's like tricking myself.
Was it harder than you thought? I mean, you were always confident you could do this.
It's easier than I thought.
Really?
But at the same time, you have the negative thoughts in your head saying, like, this isn't gonna happen.
Ingenious. Hey, you think those calories in there and out of there?
Thinking about going into my biggest fight possible with being a shell of myself.
You always get really cold too when you start putting food and fluids back in your system because all the blood goes to your stomach and I got no body fat. And I start to cramp a little bit. Fuck.
And that's a mental mind fuck.
Skill for skill, maybe the best pound-for-pound mixed martial arts athlete on the planet Earth. And while Dillashaw, you can already argue, is going to be in the Hall of Fame, tonight moves down to flyweight to try to become a two-weight UFC champion.
Gentlemen, this is 5 rounds under the unified rules of mixed martial arts for the title.
And he said this doesn't stop. After he wins this one, he wants to be a 3-weight UFC champion.
Ready to fight? Let's go.
Oh, big right hand from Cejudo. Oh, Henry Cejudo knocks TJ Dillashaw in round 1. The messenger message sent tonight.
Come on, man.
You went out a couple of times.
Come on.
I did. I let it go as much as I could.
I know I'm way more dominant than Henry Cejudo, and I unfortunately did not get the chance to prove it.
Still the undisputed UFC flyweight champion.
And then obviously things get even worse. I had my manager call me and say, hey man, I just got a call from the UFC. And my heart just dropped because I instantly knew, right? Like I instantly knew, like, fuck. I called my wife and talked about life, man, and talked about what the fuck we're about to go through.
TJ Dillashaw tested positive for injectable EPO, which is a serious performance-enhancing substance.
TJ Dillashaw has now been suspended by USADA for 2 years after testing positive for EPO.
TJ Dillashaw no longer the king of the 135-pounders.
This is disgusting. I can't say it enough. And this could potentially be a career ender here for TJ Dillashaw.
I tested positive for erythropoietin. I was taking an anemia medication called Procrit. Knew I wasn't allowed to take it. And yeah, man, I mean, that's your answer. Becoming anemic, your red blood cell count is in the toilet. And that is why I didn't want to wake up in the morning. That's why I didn't want to train. And I asked about like taking anemia medication, right? Didn't think anything of it, just thinking, what can I do? I'm anemic.
Feel the flow. Feel the flow.
So anemia medications, the main ingredient in them are erythropoietin, which everyone knows is EPO. It helps you produce more red blood cells, and red blood cells transport oxygen so you can have more endurance. And that's the reason why it's illegal. Lance Armstrong is known for taking, and a bunch of cyclists and things like that. And then once you find out what it is, I just realized, oh, I can't freaking take that. There's no way I can take it, you know? And then do enough research and thinking, well, maybe I can and not get caught. I mean, no one knew. No one, not any of my training partners, none of my coaches.
Athletic stance, mentally alert.
The nervousness doing it wasn't even worth it, man. I feel like I lost years off my life even just making that decision. Just like every morning waking up like, man, is USADA gonna show up today? That stress that I put on myself just to get to the fight was way worse than any of the co-weight cut. Way worse. I guess with the pressure on myself of wanting to do this and wanting to be it, wanting to be the best, is that I blinded myself. You know, I blinded myself from the actual reality of what could happen. I was not sleeping. I mean, very, very little sleeping. All I wanted to do is get a drink and forget about it. And I didn't think about it at the time, but going back and thinking about it now, like the way I was living life was a way to escape reality, you know? The thing that really pisses me off about what I did is that what it does to the people I love. You know, like the coaches that I respect.
Ludwig is crying right now. TJ's crying. I mean, this is incredible. What a moment. What an incredible moment.
My wife, you know, for instance, embarrassed. She's got to talk to her family about it when this is getting announced, or her friends that like what your husband did. You know, that's what really hit home.
I was not happy about the situation or the decision that TJ had made. I was also concerned, truly, that he was in that place where he felt he needed to do what he did. And as a first-time parent, my thoughts quickly turned to Bronson and how this would maybe affect him down the road. I and trying to raise a son with a strong moral compass and high self-esteem, and a huge portion of my concern was around him.
The way I was raised by my dad was owning up to my mistakes, dealing with them, and not running from them. That's why I decided to come out in front of the world and show everything. I cheated. I fucked up. I'm gonna handle the consequences.
The UFC brought me over in 2015 with the main purpose of putting together a year-round, world-class, platinum standard anti-doping program.
All right, next fighter to the scale, 12th ranked in the UFC Women's Strawweight Division, Angela Hill.
You have any questions about supplements, I'm available any day.
All right, next fighter to the scale, 1/2 featured written live on ESPN Plus, UFC's lightweight division.
How's it going, man? Good to see you. The thing you got to be real careful with, is supplements. We've had instances of just, vitamin C, creatine, having steroids and other things in it in very, very small amounts. I was involved in some of the highest profile performance-enhancing drug investigations, really, that the world's ever seen, which included Barry Bonds, Lance Armstrong. I worked closely in the Roger Clemens investigation. I've seen multiple professional athletes criminally prosecuted for trying to cover up performance-enhancing drug use. It's an interesting dynamic, and most people would think, hey, you want to go out and catch people. The more positive tests you have, the more successful the program is. That is not the case. My job is preventing athletes from testing positive. And the tests that they do on you are so sensitive, they can pick up those small things. Always disappointed whenever we get these positive tests. But when I hear positive tests for difficult to detect substances like EPO, a bit of me says, wow, this program's really working. Look, in my career, I've seen the full spectrum of how athletes deal with getting caught. And most times the cover-up is worse than the crime. Lance Armstrong not only denied.
I've said it for 7 years. I've said it for longer than 7 years. I have never doped.
But actually used the court systems to try to sue people alleging that he was using these things.
The lawsuit Armstrong filed today accuses USADA of conducting a process that is rigged and that violates his constitutional rights.
I've seen Roger Clemens go to the Capitol and call for a Senate hearing where he could testify and raise his hand that he had never done anything, where I had evidence that he had.
Let me be clear. I have never taken steroids or HGH. Thank you.
And so TJ is immediately accepting this, admitting to it, being forthright about it. I think he does deserve some credit for that, because that is not par for the course with high-level professional athletes when they're caught. So based on my experience, I think he's doing it the right way. So I've got it set up here. We basically have access to a database called Clearinghouse. And what that shows us is it shows us all test results. It also gives us access to the fighters or our athletes' whereabouts, and that means where they're going to be, where they can be located to be tested. One of the interesting things when you test positive and you're serving a sanction, you're still subject to testing under the USADA program. With TJ, since he's been under suspension, he's had 22 individual tests over those couple of years, at various days of the week, times of the day. So again, proof in the pudding aspect of he's coming back, hopefully a different and clean fighter than he was before. He's had 2 years worth of pretty solid testing to show that.
I think that unfortunately and understandably, this will follow TJ's career.
What does this say about TJ Dillashaw's legacy? This is crazy.
At one point, myself and I think a lot of other people were considering as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Now, exactly. I don't know. And then how did he get there? That's the big problem.
He, lost 2 years in the prime of his career. He's gonna have to compete and live the rest of his life with this stigma.
Everyone I fight, anyone that's like, I've tainted my legacy.
It taints his legacy. It just does. There's no way around it.
They're gonna go back and be like, oh, he's been cheating.
I wouldn't give any value to any victories this fucking kid has.
I'm certainly aware that there is sentiment out there that, maybe this use predated even the Cejudo fight. But again, I think that comes with the territory when you test positive. That suspicion of how far back did it go. So yeah, it's not gonna get any easier or go away, and the intention's not gonna get any less. It's gonna be intensified.
But luckily enough, I don't really give a shit what people say. It won't define me, I can tell you that much right now.
He needs to get back out there. I don't think he wants to at all end on that type of note, and I respect that. He's definitely chomping at the bit, and I think he's really realigned himself.
Anyone that's got the belt, you're the paper champ. On paper, yeah, you are the champion, but that belt's right there on my shelf, and I'm coming back with a vengeance.
I love this shit. I love the fight. You see a smile on my face every time I come out?
I'll be coming back, and I'll be a 3-time UFC champ. There's no way you can deny me from that.
The guy is so confident. He's only getting better.
I want to talk about a kid rise into